Alright, so no introductions or outros for this video today or tonight, but if any of you guys truly care about myself, truly give a rat's and money rabbits there about myself, please like, share, comment, hit the bell notification. If you truly care about my content right here on this channel, subscribe. My absolute wonderfully amazing tier levels of absolute amazing wonderful people. Just in case the YouTube algorithm unsubscribed to my channel, please resubscribe. Come back to me again if you guys want to. For my original subscribers, my main viewers, my main original audience retention peoples, my watchers, my supporters, the people that were there for me for day freaking one. Appreciate the living hell out of you. I'm glad you guys are still here. Thank God you guys are still here, man. Honestly, out of my heart, truly mean that stuff. And of course, as always, if any of you guys truly, or just happen to stumble upon any of my videos or my social media accounts or any of those other stuff, what have you, it'd be nice if you come along with this journey venture with me. If you guys want to watch me do reaction videos or just have fun with the channel most of the time, just typical old school hobby shit like I did way back in the early mid-2010s, the late 2000s. Of course, I didn't do reaction videos back then. I just did rant videos and top fives and a lot of random XD bullshit late 2000s, 2010s YouTube, the way old school YouTube used to be, you know. Just a lengthy 16 to 21-year-old teenager adult, young adult, just learn about the world. But if any of you guys want to stay with me, maybe even forever, that'd be great. You're welcome to subscribe and hit the bell notification whenever you want. But this is just a one and done time you're ever going to see me. The last few minutes of life you'll ever see me ever again. You can play me in the background at either 2x speed or 3x speed if you do the whole premiere YouTube thing, because of course you got to pay it like $7-9 a month, which sucks. But fortunately, that's YouTube and Google rules. Sadly, as fucked up as that is. And of course, if not, that's totally fine. It's totally understandable. It's totally classy. It's gravy. It's all good under the hood. It's water under the bridge. There's 6-7 billion other people in the world be watching besides me, obviously. So I get that. I understand it. Totally content with that. Anyways, I know I usually this one is probably not going to get 0 views, but then ever since, for some reason, August, September, I don't know why. And this is not me just saying, oh, I only do YouTube for viewership or viewers or money and wealth and materials and clout. I don't give a fuck about any of the clout. I've always done this shit mainly as a passion thing and getting certain shits off my chest. Not all of it, but some of it. Once in a while, I'll do extremely rare rant videos like how I did the other one the other day, which was 44 or 45 minutes long. It was episode 2 of the trailer for Digital Circus, which I know that Digital Circus episode's already out. I still had to do the Ash Ketchum versus Yugimoto one thing that came out over a week ago almost. By the time you guys see, it's probably going to be Saturday, Sunday, or Monday for this video. More than likely it's going to be Sunday or Monday. I don't know. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't really like talking about politics and shit on my channel, but one of the first people, I'm not going to say that caught my interest in politics, because that was way back when I was I don't know if I was a mid-late 90s kid or early 2000s kid. And they weren't even young politician people either. They were way old as fuck. Mainly here in the United States, because I know politics, even though it's probably the same thing all over the world, unless it's something to do with, the communism, Marxism, dictatorship. The countries are completely, not allowed to have actual freedom of speech and say whatever they want. It's on their fucking mind and complain about the government. Something's not wrong. They're supposed to help you, even granted, most of the government, in my opinion, is mainly corrupted as fuck, even in really good first world countries like a lot of the European Western countries, or Canada over here in the United States, USA, or other places like Australia, New Zealand, the UK and all that, which I don't know what's up with the UK over there. I don't know, maybe it's because they've always had a king and a queen that always had a lot of evilness and corruption in their fucking evil slime ball, in my opinion, hearts. They really don't give a fuck about the people because they see themselves as demigods. In my opinion, this is all me, by the way. Some of you guys might feel different. You might think I'm being mean and nasty to these billionaire trillionaires, but you know what? It is what it is. In my personal opinion, I don't even know if Google or YouTube, I wouldn't be surprised Google has some sort of thing to do with, I wouldn't be surprised. They probably got a lot of fools working for the NSA and FBI and shit that possibly even work for Google, period. So I wouldn't be surprised it is. To a certain extent, it's kind of connected to the American government. So it should be my freedom of speech to say how shitty as fucking hell the United Kingdom over there. I don't know what it is with the Brits out there, man. For the normal, everyday, average, obviously citizen people, the British UK people over there, they got to deal with that bullshit all the fucking time with privacy concerns and censorship, mass, a whole bunch of issues over there with the whole stuff with Palestine and Israel and all that. I'm not even going to get into none of that bullshit. So I'm going to get to this one first. But, oh man, it's like every day it gets so much fucking dystopian evil out there in the UK. And same goes for its other cousin, Australia, too. And I don't know what it is, maybe because of the British monarchs. They've always felt like they were like demigods of this earth, and like nobody can touch them, and they think they could live forever, and they think they're gonna outlive humanity, and they feel like under their evil rules of the laws and laws of their land or whatever, like they think they could just rule over people's lives, and they just see them as like bottom feeder flies, or we're just like cattle and shit to them and all that stuff, which is, I don't know, man, that's sad as hell. And I think the one that's supposed to have the main power in the UK is supposed to be like, I don't know what they call the prime minister guy, or the man or the woman that ends up being prime minister. I don't even know if they've ever had a female prime minister there yet. I'll be surprised if they did, because I don't keep up with all that shit. Ain't the only one I remember in was the 2000s, 2010s. That was the UK prime minister dude there. Correct me if I'm wrong, British UK peoples, if you're watching. Could correct me if I'm wrong in this. I'm probably to go on Wikipedia later to see if this is real. This has to be fact. If it's not, I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass here. I don't know if it was Tony Blair or the other dude that was like supposed to be the British version of Donald Trump. I think his name wasn't Evan Peterson. Boris Johnson, I think that's what his name was. Boris Johnson. He was like the one that was ruling the country for a little bit, and before that was Tony Blair, and then after that, I think he's like a Arab Middle Eastern dude that's running it now. I don't remember his name. It is what it is. But man, shit's just getting way extra fucking chaotic and way out of control out there in the UK, man. And I just heard, like, 2 days ago, by the time you guys watch this video, maybe 4 or 5 days ago instead of 2 days ago, but in Australia, they're already doing a lot of permanent bans on, like, children and teenagers not getting on a lot of big-time freaking social media things, like Twitch, Reddit, Kick, YouTube, Instagram. What's the other one? Snapchat. I don't even know if anybody even uses Snapchat anymore. Of course, TikTok and OF fans. Obviously, that makes sense because there shouldn't be no little boys or girls going over there and OF fans or Fansly or any of those, corn site sort of shits. And what else? Those other two, and I forgot what they were. I think it was, besides Reddit and 4chan, there was those two. I think DeviantArt was probably on that list too. Maybe Newgrounds might have been on there. I don't know. And Kick was on there too, so there was that. And what else? Discord was even on that shit too. So no longer little kids and teenagers are going to be able to go on Twitch or any of those other social media things anymore. Just a damn shame, but you know what? That's how totalitarian government works. Eventually, sooner or later, it might happen in the United States. I mean, that did happen for like, 2-3 weeks or 2-3 months. I forgot it was late last year or earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year in February, March of 2025, where Trump, he wanted to permanently just ban TikTok, and after like 2-3 weeks or a month or two after that, he decided to like unlift those bans and all that shit, so it came back. So I remember this one fucking retard idiot motherfucker. I know some people are gonna get triggered with that word retard, but when I was in 90s, 2000s, kid, I heard all these kids fucking saying the word retarded all the fucking time. And it's not because they're making fun of autistic people. They're just calling you a fucking stupid ass half the time, or just a bumbling, silly buffoon. I don't know. But for Gen Z, that's like calling somebody, oh, you called them the hard N-word or whatever. I don't know what fucking perceived Gen Z to think, oh, retarded is like the N-word or the other racist words out there that, for other race ethnicities out there, are really, really bad. A lot worse, actually. But I don't know. I just never saw this that much. Even though I did censor myself saying that for a while, I was like, I don't know why the fuck I'm doing that when I was raised saying that most of my life. But anyways, enough BSing around the bush, enough wasting your guys' time. We're going to react to this one. This is a 2006 interview. I know this dude's like, 4 or 5 years older than mine. I think he's 5 years older than me, so he's like, I think he's either 41, 42, and next year he's either going to be 42, 43 years old. Some dude that was very, very hardcore on the far-right extremist side of the whole left-right paradigm. The Republicans served it, and in the small hat people club too, obviously. Ben Shapiro, first interview live on TV. I know, like I said before, I'll say it again, I don't like talking about politics, but the one I kind of grew up with, I thought was really good. Because in the early 2000s, late 90s, they had this thing in the United States. I don't know if the rest of the world had it, but I know in America they had it. They probably had it in Canada too, because some of the stuff that Canadians were getting in the 90s and 2000s, like us kids in the millennials in the 90s, early 2000s, we kind of got those same TV programming shows too. So there's that. It's called Nick News. I think it was a dude. I remember when I first time I heard about what politics was I don't know, because I know I always hear about the dude Bill Clinton a couple times and the whole Monica Lewinsky scam. So it might have been 1995, 96 when I was like 6, 7 year old, second and third grade. All these kids on the bus kept yelling like, "Oh, Monica Lewinsky's bad. Monica Lewinsky's a slut and a bitch." Might I add you, these are 6, 7, 8, 9 year old little kids saying this shit. So for all you parents out there that think your kids are angels and shit like that, and you think they could do no wrong, some of your kids, not all of them. I gotta be careful I talk about parents' kids out there, but not all your kids are sweet little adorable innocent little angels. Some of them are nasty, disgusting little filthy mouth motherfuckers that need a fucking, I wouldn't say a fucking spanking, because you can't really do that to your kids nowadays, because fortunately CPS will take them away. Or like, they need a lot more punishment nowadays, man, because they think they can just get away with all this shit that they can say, did this and that. Nah, man. If I was a father, I would just put, I want to say I want to be a strict helicopter parent if I was a dad. But at the same, because I do want my son or my future daughter, if I were to have kids, like, I don't want them to have too much freedom, but at the same time, I don't want them to think they could just fucking talk and run all over me and think they're not going to get fucking punished by their old man, you know? I ain't going to be a fucking doormat to my fucking son or my daughter like that. But at the same time, I don't want to be too fucking extremely harsh and be an asshole fucking dad either. But I don't want to be like a best buddy or best friend of my son or daughter either. I don't. Parents out there, you guys probably know way better, especially millennial parents. Like, you guys probably remember a time in your life when you used to either maybe, I don't know if you guys were smart ass pieces of shit to your family or you respected your mother and father. I don't know. That's your guys' fucking life, not mine. I don't know how you guys do it with kids. I don't know how much of a hassle that shit has to be. I don't know, because you're truly dedicated to really raising a human being in this world, and this child in the world, to have respect for other elders out there, which especially nowadays is probably, I can't imagine how much more. And I said this before in another video. I think it was September, October, November. It's about 1 or 3 or 4 months ago. I can't imagine how much more billion times harder it has to be for millennial parents to be raising Gen Alpha kids. Like, mainly a lot of them are just on their screen phones or like their little smartphones and everything. And they're not even paying attention to the physical world out there anymore. It's just all this physical 4D, 5D world that we live in, a world of like the physical flesh and bone reality of life. Like, they don't even give a crap about that no more. A lot of these kids, they're just sucked in their fucking phones and don't give a crap about nothing that's going on around them anymore. It's oh god, it's really, really jaw dropping. I even see it, man. I've seen it a couple times whenever I go to Walmart, Target, and I see these like 5, 6 year old little kids. Don't worry, I'm not no fucking asshole, creep PDF file motherfucker. I'm just observing my surroundings if I'm not playing my shit either. Because I know once in a while I'm guilty with looking at my phone one too many times, but I still pay attention to my surroundings too. But it's sad as hell, man, honestly. We had that thing raising the freaking child instead of the parent, so that way the parent gets 10, 30 minutes, 2, 3 hours of peace and quiet because they're going to be screaming, yelling if they don't have their little digital technology device to keep them busy. I get that to a certain extent, but it's like, you don't want them on there all the time, you know? You still want to send them out to physical places, like, you know, they still got the playground and the park and shit. And of course, when they hit their teens, they're not going to want to do none of that shit anymore because they're going to be too old for that. So maybe you want to put them in, I don't know, basketball, baseball, sports, or any of that shit. And if they don't like any of that stuff, just tell what your kids want. What do they want to be when they get older? Maybe they want to be something like how I wanted to be, like either a video game designer or this other dumbass dream job I used to love thinking about, like an old school comedian or voice actor. Unfortunately, that never happened for me. Or, even better yet, like an artist or anime manga artist. Or maybe they wanted to be a cosplayer when they got older. Or maybe they wanted to be like, what else? I don't know, construction worker, this, that, and the other, you know? Just tell them what they want to fucking be when they grow up and try to set them in a program. If that's high school or college, you have those type of programs, you know? Try to enroll them into that stuff, you know? I'm just saying, whatever. Anyways, done yapping for too long. Let's just jump into this thing. It should be real interesting. This looks like this came from the 90s.
Writes about slavery in the late 17 and 1800s
Already
in the book Bury the Chains.
Excuse me, slavery. That's no good. Sunday. They're playing this classical music.
The February bombing of a major Shia shrine in the Iraqi town of Samarra has set off a wave of sectarian violence. Sunday on Book TV, Brandeis University professor Yitzhak Nakash examines the rising influences of the Shia in the Arab world. His new book is Reaching for Power.
You could tell this is 2006 or 7 away, because I remember in high school, I didn't pay attention to the news a lot from the typical bullshit mainstream media. Even before I woke up in 2009 and up, and learned about the shit from A.J. Jones, a.k.a. Alex Jones, and what the Masonic occults and New World Order, Illuminati, yada yada yada, all those Bill Rockefeller, Rothschild people that really control everything in this world and this life that you have to fucking do to a certain extent. And the only two ways they're probably control is unless you gotta use the bathroom or something like that. Probably, I don't know. Other than that, like, I don't know, 50-70% of the stuff you do in life, they probably control. And then, especially when it comes to money. Financially, unfortunately, they control a lot of the normies and sheeps with money. Sad as fuck as that is. And only the 1%, I'm pretty much sure a lot of them are really, really evil, bad, satanic, devil-worshipping fools. I bet none of them will serve God. And if they say they serve Jesus Christ as their God and Savior, unfortunately for me personally, I don't really believe that crap for a second. I think that's just a bullshit excuse to, like, fool the people to thinking that they have a choice of everything in this world, that they, I should have a freedom of speech to do this and that, which, fortunately, in reality, like, some of them are just never gonna wake up, see the forest patch trees, and realize a lot of their life that they were living in was not real in the first place. I mean, physically it was real, but, like, on a mental, spiritual level, it wasn't. It's like this old analogy metaphor used to go, like, not everything is as it seems, if that makes sense. I don't know. But you could tell this shit was really back when the whole Saddam Hussein and the Bin Laden dude and all that shit was, the whole George W. Bush guy was there before Obama became president. I remember hearing shit like that, man. Ugh. On Fox and CNN and HO and the BBC and all those news things. Like, oh my God. I used to hear that shit. Like, not all the time, but once every week or two when I wasn't going to high school at the time, when I was just Saturday, Sunday, I was like, don't they ever get tired of fucking goddamn, like, fucking arguing with each other left and right and left, and this and that. I mean, it wasn't as bad as it was before 2016, 17 came around, before, like, social media started going more mainstream after that, but man, it was such a fucking goddamn migraine hearing this shit. Like, why do you people, like, go on these two teams that are never gonna fucking make any differences in everyone's lives? That's even what 16, 17, 18-year-old me was thinking of that then too. Even before I woke up to the truth of the scary freaking FEMA camps and all that shit. Alright, let's go.
Watch tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern.
It's got to be Ben Shapiro, because that's the one I wanted to see.
Ben Shapiro is the author of Brainwashed, How University
I want to see how he used to live back then. Let's see.
Indoctrinate America's Youth. You're currently a student at Harvard Law, recent graduate of
UCLA. Of course you
UCLA.
went to Harvard.
What did you find on college campus?
That's even before I heard about a lot of the deep, really evil, super satanic crap. Like, I don't even know if they still do this anymore. I wouldn't be surprised they still did. A lot of those big-time millionaire, billionaire schools are really, really rich, powerful schools from, like, Harvard, Stanford, MIT, UCLA, Oxford University, these really super rich, prestigious-ass schools. I see here a lot of old-school conspiracy theories, and I'm probably going to get flagged for YouTube for saying this. They're going to think, it's misinformation, disinformation, you shouldn't be talking about that. Well, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm going to fucking talk about it. I don't know every single little bit in detail because I haven't heard this. So I don't know, 2011, 2012, so I will make it like 14, 15 years ago, going on 15, 16 years ago almost. By the time it's 126. There was this old thing where George Bush and this other guy that he was running against, John Kerry. This is a really old video. I don't even know if it's even up on YouTube anymore. It's probably gone now. But back in 2005 to like 2012, maybe 2015, when, there's a lot more freedom of expression on YouTube. Before 2016, the whole apocalypse happened, and a lot of those videos got taken down. A lot of channels got deleted. A lot of people I used to be subscribed to, they completely vanished out of nowhere. They had to go to other different social media sites, which unfortunately they don't get as many views or clicks or likes for that shit. just for spreading actual, literal truth, in my opinion. But like, there was this old thing, oh, those two guys for John Kerry and George Bush, like even the Pope and all those people, all the Hollywood, this and that, like some of these people started in this thing. It was like a evils, devils, Lucifer, Baphomet, like sort of secret society, club, or clan, whatever you want to call it. The whole Skull and Bones thing and the 33 and all that stuff was part of the thing. Those are the people that really are going to control America, but then they're just going to fool a lot of the sheep that's saying, oh, this side is right for the left, the right side is wrong, and the left side is wrong, and then the left-right extremists and the independents and the liberals are right, and they're wrong. It's a never-ending fight of literally fighting over like a lost cause, or literally nothing, really. In my personal opinion, the whole reason that politics even exists is just to have humanity always have hatred and anger towards each other, when none of them are never going to be able to be friends, talk it out, just hang out, and just put all that bullshit aside and realize, hey, you know what? I guess all this bullshit is fake. I don't know why we're fighting over each other. In reality, you should take out the ones that are the 1% to control everything. Because they know, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to start no bullshit revolution or anything, YouTube. So, I'm just saying, if everyone got together and they put political bullshit all the way to the side and just dumped it in the trash and never talked about it again, same thing goes for other shit too, like religion and science and, beliefs and all this other ideological things that controls people's lives 24/7, 360 fucking 5. They were to just put all that shit behind them, and really go after what the real enemy was, and it actually really is just the devil at the end of the day, really. Then it would be way less of a chaotic, fucked up place in society to live. But in my opinion, it's not me sounding like a pessimistic, or it's not wishful thinking. I wish that would happen, unfortunately. Social media and on that, even way more popular than it was. And it made people have a lot more extra division and polarization than it was back when I was a 90s, 2000s kid. So, unfortunately, that's probably never going to fucking happen. And the only way that'll ever happen is if, with that other guy, the son of perdition, the one that will not be named, not talking about Voldemort from Harry Potter or any of this shit either. The dude that, in the Bible is supposed to be the most sweetest, most gorgeous, handsomest looking man in the whole world, and everyone's going to love the hell out of him, no matter what. I don't know how they're going to do that, but I don't know. I have a feeling they're probably going to use it. And this is just my theory. I don't know. This is no fact or anything, but that whole neuron thing, Neuralink that Elon Musk is making, I have a feeling that's probably that they're going to end up, even though not everyone's going to be able to afford that type of technology, but whatever type of digital ID currency that ends up happening in the future, and all the physical paper money ends up being gone one day, they're probably just going to secretly install that in a lot of people's brains, and maybe everyone's going to like who this evil AC person is, aka the opposite of what Jesus is supposed to be. That's just how I think that's probably going to happen. But yeah, let's see.
What have you
see how
found
Ben Shapiro was back in the day.
The political culture there?
Well, I mean, it's very clearly an
What?
extremely liberal environment. I mean, every poll shows.
Oh my god. This was Ben Shapiro in 2006. So that means if he was 4 or 5 years old now, I was almost like 17 at the time. So he's either like, it wasn't 20 years old, he had to be like 21 or 22 at the time. Yeah, look how small his little hair thing up there. It was that alfalfa bald haircut he had. I know a lot of people, especially in the whole left thing, the whole upright paradigm, they say, oh, he came from a super ultra rich, wealthy family, so he never had to work for anything in his life, and he had a silver spoon in his mouth and shit. But I think the first time I ever heard about this was like 2016 or 17, I don't know. Let's hear a young Benny boy talk.
Incredible imbalance that you have between liberals and conservatives on campus. What I found is that most students are apathetic. They really don't care about politics at all. So the problem in terms of indoctrination is really for the apathetic students. I've never claimed that conservatives are the ones who are experiencing, sort of horrific oppression on campus. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think reports of people being graded down for their conservative viewpoints are probably exaggerated to a certain extent. What I can say is that people who are unaffiliated, who don't know that much about politics, are going to come out left. And they're going to come out left specifically because they're hearing a lot of leftist bias from the professors. Not because the professors are saying stuff like, Bush is an idiot or Bush should be impeached or any of that sort of stuff. More because they have control over the syllabus. So they get to control, what students see and hear on a given issue. And that being the case, that means that the case is going to be biased to one side inherently.
See, that's the thing. I don't get all that mess, bro. Like, even though when I was at that time, 17, 18, I was still very young. I'm not going to say very impressionable, very gullible. I was still growing up, trying to learn everything about the world I was trying to fucking learn. At that time, between like 2003 or 04 all the way up to like 2012, like, there was a lot of stuff that was changing about slowly. Not drastically, but slowly about humanity. As somebody that was a millennial growing up at the time, because I know a lot of Gen Zers are probably watching this right now. You guys are probably way too little to remember this, but it was stuff. So besides social media and all that shit blowing up, I saw a lot of the rise of this whole shit about besides the internet, because I know stuff like 4chan and Reddit and other stuff that's not around anymore, like how the old Chinese chat URL thing used to be a thing, and what's it called? Not CS:GO, Lotto. Omegle started becoming a thing. Stuff where you like hack shit on the internet, like from LimeWire and Polar Bear Freeze. Like, I used to get a lot of my shit on my MP3 player because this is gonna make me feel like I'm 100,000 years fucking old. But I used to like, back when I was like 15 to like 19 years old or 20, I used to get a lot of illegal download shit from like LimeWire and Polar Bear Freeze or whatever, those two apps that. Even though, granted, I got like a few viruses here and there on the computer. Thank God it didn't die out. I never got the blue screen of death on that bitch because luckily I was always seeing which one could like fill that thing up the fastest. Like, because I don't know how many gigs of RAM my MP3 was able to hold because I got it as like a, I think it was like a prom thing or whatever gift I got it. I don't know why. So like 17 to 21-year-old me, I was enjoying the fuck out of that MP3 player. So I was still listening to a lot of underground rap and hip hop and maybe a lot of old school like West Coast Chicano music. Like I said this before, I know I sound like a broken record to my older subscribers, but anyone that's brand new here, you probably don't know. But granted, I was mainly born and raised in East Coast Harlem, New York, where I knew more about my Boricua, Puerto Rican side, but I never really knew about my Mexican side as much, which is on my mom's side, because my pop's side was all the Puerto Rican ones. But like it wasn't until I went out to Mexico the first two times, like I got to learn what my Mexican, like Hispanic, Latino, that side of my freaking gente raza part of my people's, like how that side of the world lived in Mexico. And then it wasn't until I moved out here to Vegas, I was like, it was a lot more of an eye opener for me. Like this was like a big melting pot, like how New York City was, but it wasn't like one or two Mexicans you see like once in a while. It was like not even 500,000. I'd probably say more or less 500,000, more or less. There were Mexicans that were living out here in 2002 to 2008, 09, and all that. So I kind of had to re-educate myself what it was like to really be like. And I'm not trying to sound like, oh, I'm Democrat or Republican. This is just a purely speculatory, not even speculatory. For me, it's fact. I was like, I saw things that I never thought I'd ever like witness in my whole fucking life. Like, and not bad, evil, fucked up things, but like, I got to learn side of my Mexican side that like, even certain things my mother like never even told me about, which I don't know if she was. I don't want to blame my mom saying, oh, how could you hide this side of my Mexican, Mexicano, Latino side of me, and I only knew my Puerto Rican side. Like, I didn't want to get her in her fucking ass for that, but I don't know, maybe because you did it because you wanted to protect me and shit. I get it. Because maybe she was ashamed about what her people did and what her people stood for. And like, maybe she didn't want me knowing about any of my cultural background and all that shit. Maybe she just wanted me to pretend and act, oh, you're living in this part of New York City. Because after we left Spanish Harlem, New York, right, we lived for about 5.5, 6 years, a little bit more in upstate New York, which it was a way drastic difference. It wasn't a melting pot in that part of New York. It was mainly either a lot of black people that lived out there and a shitload of white people that lived out there. And Asians, there was like barely any out there. The most were maybe like one or two Hawaiian and maybe like Taiwanese people and like a couple Koreans, and I was probably at like maybe 50 or 80 at the most, less than 100. And like Puerto Ricans are only like 1 or 2% that lived up there compared to the 95, 97% of Puerto Ricans that live in the New York City area or just in like Harlem and shit. So there's that. So yeah, I felt like a fish out of water when I went to that motherfucker. Because not trying to sound like I'm a racist or bigot to Caucasians, but like, I don't know, maybe for the older Caucasians, I don't know if, like, because it's funny, because I don't know what it was. I don't know, because I know a lot of black people for a fact. I know you fools out there, you could probably to a certain extent relate to me on this, but like, there's that whole thing, because I know a lot of African American, aka black people, I know they like, what's it called? They do this thing, it's called the code switch or whatever. Because when they go to their they go to their like corporate job, especially if they're living or working like in a corporate government job, or like stuff like telemarketing, or if they're doing like a Wall Street job, or like doctor, lawyer, attorney type of job, or if they're working, I don't know, a business professional law. Like, this one dude, perfect example, my boy, Steven Silverberg, a very, very big YouTuber, Omni. Like, I know he explained this shit piece by piece, professionally, like a boss, for sure. He explained it very, very, like, hook, line, and sinker, very professional. Well, like, he was talking about the whole code switching, like how a lot of black people, when they work at their professional jobs, they have to act like a very fake white person. But the second they go back to either their ghettos or their hoods or projects, like, they act like hella freaking thug as hell out there. I get that shit. And there's to a certain extent, not all of them, because I know my side, not my side of the family, but like, I'm not saying I was pretending to be a fake white person to white people. I just wanted to sound like I was highly educated, because I don't want them to think I was a fucking idiot or a dumbass when I talked with them. I wanted them to know, yeah, I have very high literacy, articulate skills just like you do, you know? You guys aren't the only ones that think you fucking have big brain fucking goddamn power and authority over the other race, you know? So there was that. I'm sorry if that offends certain Caucasian people that watch this video, but that's just how I was for me. As somebody that was a minority out there in Western New York, because there were barely anybody who's out there. It was mainly either a lot of African black dudes there. Not all of them acted all ghetto and hood and wiggity woo woo here and there. Some of them acted like very highly class educated black people. Even when they went to, maybe not to the hood, maybe to the suburbs, if they got enough money to get out of the Section 8 ghetto projects and shit like that, and they could live that American dream, who knows? But other than that, yeah. Once I moved out here to Vegas, that whole thing just vanished after that. I was like, oh, okay, so I'm starting all over again like before. When I was still living with my parents at the time. But anyways, let's keep going on this Ben Shapiro for.
Did you come across any statistics in doing your research about the political affiliations of professors?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there have been a number of polls. Most recently, there was a poll that came out last year that showed that I believe it was 77% of the professoriate is registered Democrat or votes Democrat, and that seems a bit low to me. I mean, if you look in the Ivy Leagues, for instance, in the 2000 election, 84% of professors voted for Al Gore. I mean, the country was split 50-50. You have 84% of Ivy League professors voting for Al Gore. For instance, on specific issues like abortion, there have been polls that have shown 99% of Ivy League professors are pro-choice. I mean, that's about as imbalanced as you can possibly get. So the claim that professors can separate themselves from their own political biases long enough to teach a class, I just think is false.
Why do you think that most professors are liberal?
I think there are a couple reasons. The first reason is self-selection. I mean, I think that you don't see a lot of liberals working at the NRA. You don't see a lot of conservatives working in academia. It's a liberal environment, and if I'm a conservative, I don't particularly feel like going into that environment day in and day.
That part, I never did all 4 years of my freaking, well, actually not 4 years, 6 years out of the 4 years I did in my college university, because I did do 2 years of like community college and then 2 years of my university. I was supposed to do 6 years or more if I wanted to do the whole video game developer designing thing, unfortunately, but sadly didn't happen. I still got my computer engineering degree though after the first 4 years, so luckily I got that, but unfortunately I never got that dream job, so that was a kick in the balls for me. I was going to be in a hotel casino job pretty much for the end of my days, unfortunately. But you know what? That's better than having nothing, thank God. Thank Jesus every day I even have any job to even go back to, because there's going to be a day where AI probably takes away my work, and I might, God forbid, I hope it doesn't happen, I have to be a homeless motherfucker in the streets, and I really don't want to end up begging people for money on that shit, not because it's a pride thing or any of that shit, the pridefulness. It's just, kind of embarrassing a little bit, I don't want to put myself way out there, just say, oh, spare change. I lost my work from AI generated or AI robotics, and I can't find any work ever again. And God forbid, I don't want to be in that same situation that other people got to do every day. Because, I mean, I see it a couple times. Not all the time, but I see it almost all the time, really, when I'm going to work, unless I'm off that day. But it's really fucking... It's stress-inducing, and it's really fucking... Absolutely fucking... It's abysmal, bro. Abysmal, real depressing, seeing a lot of dudes out there. Maybe like a couple women out there, like, I'll work for this, I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you. Like, it's gonna be $10, $20, $30, $50 on their cardboards, and like, I don't know how they gotta swallow their pride to do that, man. But I'm not gonna say I salute to them, but unfortunately, no, God help those people, man, because that's can't imagine how tough it is out there being a homeless dude, like, or homeless lady. Especially you have kids on top of that, like, man. I hope and pray to God those people one day they get a lot of closure to, like, and hopefully they get all the money in the world one day for all those times they never got to work. And so some of them, unfortunately, they just probably want to be homeless for the rest of their life, and others, they're trying to get out of that fucking homeless. You know, the ones that are getting out of that hole of, you know, being at the lowest of the fucking low of society, like, man, I pray for your guys' victory. I really do. Anyways, yeah, I never understood the whole academia thing, because I never really took any classes like that. The whole academia, literature shit like that. Because when I was doing, like, the whole things, the four, like, classes I had to do besides the engineering in 1 degree, and I had to do, like, what's it called? I don't want to call it, like, science and literature. Those called marine biology literature, because I thought that one was interesting. I think that was an elective for the community college thing I went for. I know there was that one. English 4, which I already knew English. I don't know, I had to learn English again, which was stupid. I did all that shit in middle school and high school. And what else did I do? What else did I do? Like history 401 or 501. One of those freaking things. So I know I did that one, and that one. I think the only literature type of fucking, like, class I had to take, it was kind of like mandatory for me to do, was like, what was it? It was a fucking, I haven't seen this shit in so many years. Like, it was like 13 or 15 years ago. It was a while back, so I'm kind of rusty on what the name of that thing was called. Like, it's something anatomy 101, history or whatever. And a dude that was literaturing on there, like, not gonna say he was a piece of shit per se, but he was kind of like a little bit of a douchebag. He wasn't an asshole to me personally, but like the way he talked, he sounded really smug, and he sounded like a little bit of a self-centered, like, douchebag. You know, like, he kind of talked above all the students, and he was kind of the type of guy where he thought his shit didn't stink. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's how some college professors fortunately are, and then there's maybe other college professors that actually want these kids, or aka these young adults in their early mid-20s, to, like, try to go out there and succeed in life, you know? Anyways, let's keep it going.
I mean, it's fun to do it for me in college, and it's fun in law school, but I'm not sure I'd want to do it as a career. The other reason is that in order to become a professor, you do have to go through a certain process, and that process is run by liberals. So if you have tenured professors deciding who's to become a professor, if they're the ones who are reading the papers that professors have to write in order to become professors, if they're doing the hiring, then they're going to be biased in a certain way. Now, it may not be conscious. I think that probably they would think of themselves as relatively unbiased when it comes to figuring out who's a good teacher and who's not. But the problem is that a lot of professors, because they're an ivory tower, they don't even recognize that the other perspective has validity. And that being the case, they really believe that what they're saying is pure fact. So anything else must necessarily be falsehood. There's no reason to give falsehood a place in the classroom.
Why do you think there are more conservative colleges?
That's a good question. I think mostly because state-sponsored colleges tend to be very liberal, and a lot of students go to state-sponsored colleges. At the end of Brainwashed, I pushed for startup colleges, essentially, from conservatives. There was an attempt in Colorado to put together a Reagan college. That fell apart. I think part of it is that if you're an alumni, regardless of whether you're conservative or liberal, you have a stake in keeping your school's reputation as high as possible, because then you get to brag about it. From Princeton, you're going to give money to Princeton. From Harvard, you're going to give money to Harvard regardless of what's going on the campus. So there's no real reason for colleges to change their policy. They're getting a lot of money. The alumni are going to continue giving money because it's good for their resume.
I wonder, yeah, that's another thing. You know what the weird thing was? Like, because when I was going to community college, I don't know if this goes for all the community college, because obviously I didn't go to a really super ultra rich fucking hardest places to even get into, like how this very young, like 21, 22, 20-year-old, very young, like super impressionable, very he had kind of that nerdy nasally type of voice. And I'm not trying to bash his freaking reputation on that or any of that, even though like he is one of the small hat people and he kind of has that thing with, you know, the IDF and all the other shit. I'm not going to get into it, but because you know, the whole anti, you know what, and I don't want to be fucking claimed as that shit. But anyways, yeah, like, because when I was going to the place where I was going to, I'm not going to say which one it is because it's still in the same city, state where I live in. And same with the other one too. I'm not going to say the university I was, because it's in the same city, state I was in, obviously. It's in Las Vegas. So, like, you really want to see all the community colleges and like fucking universities that are out in Vegas, you just got to Google them. I don't think guys are going to find any information about myself, obviously, because that shit's supposed to be privately protected, obviously. But other than that, I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but it's a very loud ass fire truck somewhere there. Hoping, pray to God, that no fucking fires happening around this area. But anyways, as I was saying, you know, bro, I don't know, like maybe because like the community college I was going to, and they would have little pep rallies and get-togethers like once every 3 or 4 months, like how it wasn't every week or every day like how it was when I was in high school. Like the pep rallies and they were fucking crazy, man. It's like I still remember, oh, let's go this so and so. I'm not gonna say what logo it was, but it was like the Roman soldier symbol. If you guys know what that is, if you know it, you know it. If you don't, just Google search or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Like the 300 dudes or whatever in that movie. But anyways, yeah. I didn't really knew like people that bragged about saying, "Oh, I went to this community college, so I'm better than you," or "You're better than me, I'm better than you," yada yada yada, so forth and so forth. But the university I went to, like, some people wore that shit with a badge of fucking honor. I was like, why the fuck would you want to worship some freaking college university you went to for like 4, 8, 12 years? Or the one I went to was only like 2 years before I had to, unfortunately, I had to drop out because there was no way in hell I was spending so and so amount of money because I didn't have that type of money to get going. So unfortunately, I had to drop out of that shit, sadly, and do hotel casino work. But other than that, you know, at the time, I was like, man, I don't know why these people put a badge of honor on the university that they're going to go to. And in the rest of their life, they're either going to end up either starting a family or they're getting a way worse job than what I got. I'm blessed as hell I got a job at the hotel casino because it's a livable wage, thank God. Because if I wasn't getting that one, I'd probably be somewhere way worse. I'll either be doing fucking... I'm not trying to bash people that are janitors or people that work at fast food restaurants because... God have mercy on those people's souls. They got to put up with a way more extra fucked up shit there. And God didn't work at somewhere like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or Seattle's Coffee or McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King. Man, I like eating some of their fucking junk food, but I would not want to fucking be flipping burgers and flipping French fries and all that shit for the rest of my life. Even though I won't be surprised that shit's changing because of the AI robotics and all that shit slowly creeping in, kind of like, I wouldn't say taking over people's jobs, but kind of lightly doing it in a way. So I'm glad I didn't get any of that type of work because then two of the worst case scenarios it would have happened. Either A, I would probably be homeless or living in a fucking hut somewhere, which would suck, or B, I'd still have to be living with my family, which I would even be worse because I won't be able to watch any of the fucking stuff I get to see on the computer, or I won't get to cuss my fucking head off like I do half the time. I wouldn't get to look at occasional, not all the time, occasionally though. A little bit R34 once in a while on the TV or in the freaking phone because parents really don't like that shit. So a lot of my freedom would be cut off. I had to fucking move back in with them, and I am not dealing with that fucking bullshit. Hell to the fucking goddamn fuck no. Yeah, they can shove that up their ass. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But anyways, aside from all that, let's finish what he said. Oh my god, this thing's been way longer than I thought.
people to look at their college and say, wow, you went to Harvard, even if they don't agree with the current political policy at Harvard. So if there's no market for it, then and people are unwilling to go out of their way to create a market for conservative colleges, there's not going to be any conservative colleges.
What's your personal experience been at Harvard Law School? Do you speak up when you disagree with what a professor says about politics?
Yeah, I do, and it's a lot of fun. I think that conservatives need to gauge professors. I mean, one thing some conservative students don't tend to do is realize when professors just want to talk and just sit there, just sit there and listen. If a professor wants to talk, let him know. But I found a lot of professors are very receptive to the argument. They think it's a lot of fun. So,
well, that's it. Oh, that's too bad the whole interview didn't get caught on that. That's a shame. Yeah, so I don't know what else is gonna say about Harvard. He's just gonna kiss Harvard's ass more than he was before. It is what it is, At the end of the day, the dude made it. He's probably like if he's not a millionaire at this point, he's probably a secret billionaire. I don't know what his net worth is. I could probably look on Google real quick and tell you, but I'm just too much of a lazy fuck to do that. So yeah, just random thoughts, views, opinions, speculations, topic at hand here, yada yada. I'm not even gonna do the outros. I'm getting tired as hell. I got like 5-6 other videos I just did. This is probably like my 6th or 7th one of the most, which it's probably going to be 1 out of 9 or 12 videos I do before either December 21st or 22nd. After that, I'm going to take my 3.5 week break so I don't get no YouTube burnout, God forbid. But it's funny how like a young 21-year-old fresh out of like, I don't know, college or university, like freaking very, very super pro-Israel dude. Because he loves his Yarmulke JWISH people to death, obviously. He's going to fight for that big time tooth and nail if anyone ever gets his way or not. And I wonder if this is before or after he met the other two people, like, what was his name? What was this guy's name? Steven Crowder, and I know there's another dude that he met too. I think Matt Walsh, another guy that was on the politically conservative Republican far right side of the movement. And then like, who else? And then Candace Owens later on. I wonder if this is before or after he ended up meeting up with them, and then the before or after he created that whole the Dailywire, and then he started making so much fucking money afterwards, which, not surprised. If he came from Harvard, well, I'm not going to say I'm going to give him allegation to accuse him that he was a part of that evil 33 skull and bones freaking society of Harvard. Hopefully he wasn't. I'm hoping he actually did try to like fight tooth and nail and try to really bust his balls really hard as fuck to like get to where he was at. Because if he really just got all that shit received to him, then unfortunately, I hate to admit it, I really, really don't want to admit it, but because obviously I never met this dude in real life. I don't know him. I didn't grow up with him. I don't know what his life experiences fucking were. I don't know how he fucking grew up. The only thing I know was from other people on the internet saying for many, many years that mainly a lot of the whole far leftist side of the whole Democrats, they always like to shit on this dude a lot. So I'm not surprised. But a lot of people said he was born really, really rich, and both his parents were super mega rich people. He was born with like a silver spoon in his right mouth, and he never had to work a day in his life, which, that's true, that's unfortunate. But then they could say the same thing about the other guy that's like on a real hardcore liberal side, the whole like Hassan Anabi, aka that other real nasty piece of shit motherfucker, Hassan Piker, that guy. He was born and raised in a very super rich, wealthy family too. Like his uncle, or I forgot it was uncle or his somebody, his older cousin, his dad, his uncle, somebody like that. I think they worked for the TYT, the Young Turks, and all that stuff. Because I remember seeing that, like, YouTube channel back in the day, and then they started going mainstream on, like, CNN and HLN and all that stuff. So, obviously, they were more on the left side than the right. And it was crazy, because I think the guy that's, like, that one dude, that's that real big heavyset dude, I think that's supposed to be his uncle that got Hassan big after that. I don't know. And this is even way before the whole thing with, unfortunately, he shocked his poor little sweet innocent doggy, that Kaya thing with the collar gate thing happening. Oh man, that dude one day, I swear to God, if he's old as shit when he's like in his 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s or whatever, I wonder if he's gonna fucking even think about like, I wonder if he's gonna really, really give a shit or have any regrettability, or if he has any like fake, fucking bad fucking vibes that he gets and bad bullshit ass feelings. I don't know if they're gonna be fake or real. Is he's gonna really like think about all the shit that he said when he was in his 30s, 40s, 50s. Because I don't know how old he is, and he's like 39, 40, 41. So I think he's the same age as me or a little bit older. I don't know. But damn. Honestly, if anything, like, it's funny because I used to like, even though I didn't really use Twitch from 2008 or 2009 or 2012, around those early 2010s eras, at least it had stuff to do with, like, just playing video games and having fun with the homies and shit like that, you know? Just relax and whine and chill and watch your favorite streamer play either League or World of Warcraft and shit, or other video games that were out there. Even though I wasn't a big fan of the World of Warcraft shit, but I know a lot of people, especially in my high school and college years, they lived and breathed the whole World of Warcraft shit. And me, I just never got into it. I'm glad I didn't get into it, because honestly, if I would have gotten into it, I probably would have been like, I would have been very, very, he thought it was like a heavy set dude now, I probably would have been like 800, 900, 1,000 pounds or some shit instead of 200, 300 pounds. So I'm very blessed I didn't get into World of Warcraft or League of Legends, because I probably wouldn't be alive right now. And don't worry, that doesn't mean, oh, I'm gonna boom, unalive myself like that in Minecraft. But like I would have some sort of scary heart failure moment, you know. Thank God I'm still here. Thank Jesus. As far as Ben Shapiro goes, I don't know. The dude, like, he sounded like he had a lot of wisdom and knowledge to freaking give to a lot of more use and stuff like that from back in the day. I don't know. And like, if we do have people like that nowadays, the influencers for Gen Zers and the alphas, the only three I could think of, whether they're good influencers or bad, is that kid, I don't know, I guess Aiden Ross. That one, and who else? I'm trying to think of besides that kid. I know he's like, I guess, a Twitch streamer I heard about 2-3 years ago. Big Minecraft fool. I think his name was Quackity or Crackety. Quackity. I think him. I guess, I barely know who that is, or the Georgetown Found dude. Those guys would have been good influences for Gen Alpha and Gen Zers. I don't know. Even that other one that was famous 4, 5, 6 years ago. When I heard, I didn't even know who he was. It was like 2020 or 2021. The Tommy Inna dude. I don't even know if he's still doing Twitch or not. Some of these fools end up being either Twitch streamers or famous influencers like Bear, or YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Kick, whatever. Some of them, they try to go even higher. They try to go into like Hollywood shit. And God rest those people's soul if they ever try to go into Hollywood production shit. Because out of all the evil, super scumming of the earth, absolutely degeneracy of the earth, a lot of that shit comes from the Hollywood industry. It is very, very fucking insignificantly mind-numbing shit. I would not even want to, like, wish my worst enemy to try to become a Hollywood actor or actress or a music artist or a comedian or any of that. But it is what it is. Godspeed if they do. Anyways, so guys, if you're not here, peace on the star call. Using my single side, stay tuned for more future content channel, and I'll talk to you guys next time, right? Take it easy. Later.